Good evening, Canada, from our regular episodes of Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. My female co host is Cindy Young. And we have a very dynamic and interesting guest this evening. He's our Councillor, Ward 1, Stephen Dasko. Welcome to our show. He is a mayoral candidate also for this year's election on June 10th. So we wish him all the very best. So please introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, thanks for having me on
Pleasure.
tonight. This is the city of Mississauga is a dynamic place. We've got 50 years that we're just celebrating right now, which is an exciting time. And what I find is the most exciting is where we're going next. We've got a great foundation, and where are we going next? How do we serve everybody effectively and put the city on truly a world scale footing, which I truly believe we're destined for, and that we can do that economically. We can also be a real beacon for how we do things as a model for the rest of the world. We've got diversity in the city that we truly celebrate, and we should be celebrating.
Absolutely.
And we've got just an incredible tapestry right across. So we've got a great foundation, and we know where we are, and where we're going next is going to be the really exciting part.
Truly awesome. Truly awesome. Sure. And it's the 6th largest city in Canada.
Yes, 6th to 7th, all depending on the day.
Well,
Third largest in the province, and the 2nd largest employer in the province.
Yeah,
of Ontario.
definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cindy Young, and I'm the co-host for this evening with Voice of Canada. And a very special welcome to you, Stephen, for being here on our show. If you could kindly inform us and our viewers, when did you get elected as Ward 1 councillor from our city of Mississauga?
Yes, well, I'm a lifelong resident of Mississauga.
Wow,
very fortunate.
Congrats.
And thank you very much. So I was actually elected in 2018. I've been involved in the community or in different aspects throughout a very number of years.
I saw all your activities because I did the research. Finally, when I didn't get the bio on time, I started because I work on Sunday for the show on Thursday, as I told you. Yeah. But I said, no problem. I dig out everything. And I got so much information, I said, I don't need a bio.
Yes. And so I was elected 2018, re-elected in 2022 with over 70% of the popular vote. I was very humbled by that.
That's very
nice. And because I've got an intense passion for what I do. Nice. I love helping people. I love working on behalf of the communities. I don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself a community advocate.
Definitely, because as councillors, third-tier government is a non-party also.
Correct.
So we don't count you as totally political. You are actually serving people and a corporation under our province.
Yes.
The real entity of is a corporation.
Absolutely.
Municipalities.
And often you'll hear that. You'll hear the municipalities right across referred to as the corporation.
Corporation.
And that's why. Because we are
under the province,
Yeah, absolutely.
Stephen, inform our viewers of Voice of Canada, and we would like to congratulate you. Yesterday, you filed your papers with the city clerk as a mayoral candidate. So congratulations on behalf of a whole team of Voice of Canada and all our viewers and our supporters. And I got a very good response from various people, my friends and all, because Stephen is a dynamic candidate. Wish him all the best, and we would support him.
Well, thank you.
Because I spoke to so many people yesterday after your filing and of the paper. So tell us all about yesterday's event. That was a very exciting one.
Yesterday, it truly was. And we had, it was a very exciting time. My wife, Maria, and I
saw the pictures even,
there. And it was our campaign team. With our campaign chair was there, and our two co-chairs were there. So we were all walking in together.
Support.
And you know,
you go with your support of your friends when you file your papers. That's a usual custom, Canadian custom. Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that you go in and you do it right, or you don't do it at all. And that's why we made sure that we came in. And this is a role that, as a councillor of the city of Mississauga, I'm here to represent the city. but running as mayor as well. We're here to represent the entire city, and so
Absolutely.
you better come in.
I know it's a
prepared.
fun
Yes.
on the day of filing of
Yes.
papers because I've seen and done with Eve Adams,
Yes,
the former councillor, Ward 5. That's
yes,
how
that's
I'm
right.
so familiar to Ward 5
Yeah.
because Eve was my very personal friend,
Yes,
very dear to me.
yes, and she served the community in Mississauga, and then she served at
And
the
she used to
federal
win.
level as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yes.
federal
Yes,
level. Then she
yes.
became
Wow.
probably a minister of state in the
Yeah,
end.
I think she was the assistant minister or deputy minister, I believe, of
Foreign affairs or something.
it was Veterans Affairs.
Veteran
Oh,
affairs,
wow.
I
veteran
was
affairs.
just trying to
Yeah,
think
yeah,
there
yeah.
for a moment, but
Yeah.
it was Veterans Affairs. Yes.
Oh, amazing.
We
Yes.
still miss her.
Okay.
She was a very intelligent woman.
Yeah, she was a dynamic personality.
Dynamic personality.
Yes.
So what all happened exciting? Tell us yesterday.
Well, yesterday there was I was not alone in terms of it was our first day that we could go in, we could sign up.
Mhm.
3 p.m. was the opening time. I was right there to go right through the door. I was booked as the first person. So
Wow.
for me,
Nice.
there's no hesitation in my mind
Definitely.
of who and what I want to serve. It's the
Mhm.
city of Mississauga.
Yeah.
I'm there to win. I'm there to
And
represent.
to serve the people of Mississauga.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
100%.
Thank
And
you.
so I take it very as a real badge of honor, and that's why I was there right on time to just get going.
Okay, Stephen, tell our viewers you're a councillor of Ward 1 since
Yes.
2018.
Yes, sir.
What all major projects you have undertaken for your ward and even collectively for Mississauga?
Okay, well, first let me ask, how long is our show?
Don't worry, you can speak
A lot
ahead.
of
We will
information.
try to expand as much as possible. You are allowed to speak. I
No,
will
it's,
stretch a little bit.
You know, it's a unique ward, and for those that might not be familiar with the ward, it is the southeastern part of Mississauga.
Wow.
So essentially, all of the shoreline area that's
Wow,
getting
that's a
Waterfront.
redone
large
right
area.
now.
Mm.
We're going from an industrial past where we couldn't have access to our waterfront
Mhm.
to now we're going through a significant transformation of 145 acres of waterfront
Wow.
parkland.
Wow. Yeah, I
and
read today.
It
conservation
will be
area that's
amazing.
coming
Today
forward.
it is in lots
Yeah.
of news about the waterfront development of waterfront.
It's really significant, and we've got 2 projects right now that are very much underway. Some
Mhm.
people ask what is exactly happening, and so where there's a lighthouse in Port Credit,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is a lot of construction going on there. That's called West Marina Park. That's underway right now.
Wow.
That should be fully completed by the end of this summer. And
Mhm.
also right across from that, we're having new docks that are implemented there as well.
Beautiful.
We put ourselves out, and I'm a firm believer that we are going to be that drawing card from all over for that people want to come and visit.
Oh, I think so
And
too.
we have to go and we have to put on our best clothes and show our
Definitely.
best face and foot forward to welcome people in. So we do a lot of that. That's certainly one part of it. We also have 40%, and I know we're going to talk about this in a little while, 40% of all the development for the city is happening to go on there. Part of that, and it's managing it all, because what we have is a real opportunity of true city building right now
Yes.
and putting us on that global map. That's ongoing right now. I've been very involved with that. I've been very aggressive with traffic calming. That's a real passion of mine. I'm the chair of the road safety
Road
committee.
safety also.
And
Yeah.
and so we've done a few
It's a
different
huge issue.
initiatives.
Yeah, it's a
The
huge
speed
issue.
reductions in
Yeah.
municipal, in neighborhoods. From
absolutely.
the stated speed before was 50, I brought them right down to 40.
Yeah.
And
even it has become 30s also in certain
30
places.
they have done in school zones.
School zones, yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's one where I'm a firm believer that we should be looking at a time of day scenario there.
Absolutely.
Because especially with automated speed enforcement,
Lot
we want to
of
make sure that
breakers
we're-
also. Speed breakers have been installed
Yes.
too.
And a lot of those different initiatives that I've been very much at the forefront of through that, and along with working collaboratively with my other councillors. Each one of us, we look after our own
Definitely.
respective wards and
Wards,
work
yeah.
along with everybody there as well. And then, you know,
Amazing.
quite frankly, we've got a very vibrant situation happening along the Lakeshore corridor. Part of that is with live local entertainment, and I've been very much at the forefront in making sure that all of the businesses that want to offer live entertainment have the venue to do
Venue
so.
to do so.
They don't feel like they're constrained or they're not sure what
And
to
it
plan
supports
for.
them, which is
Yes,
so
so
It will
important.
be
Offer
really,
a lot
really
of
good
support.
if we have a celebration center over there.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And then one of the newer things that we had done, and that's on the art scene, and it's
Uh-huh.
what they call a geodesic dome. It
Oh,
essentially
wow.
is like a plexiglass igloo type of structure,
Uh-huh.
and that's for a dance troupe that they go and they practice dance in it.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful.
it's
See,
heated actually by solar
Wow.
energy.
it's
Must be
an
pretty
added
big.
information. Yeah.
It's a
Today
decent
I've seen the
size.
picture of the
Yeah.
dome.
Yeah,
It's there
I'm gonna
today.
have to look it up
Today I
now.
saw.
it's
Wow.
decent.
And I read, I immediately
Yes.
started reading because I said, okay, evening we'll be able to talk a little bit more with
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
I've never,
because that's your ward.
Never heard of the
It
dome.
is, yeah. And then we've put in. We've actually got several pickleball courts that are
Oh, nice.
that are actually going in right now. It's a
Pretty popular too.
sport,
Yes.
absolutely. You know, and then we also have something called disc golf, and it's the first in Mississauga that I was able to bring in. We have 2 courses right now, and I'm working on putting in 2 more as we speak. And then all along our waterfront, I'm very big on placemaking
Mhm.
and having things for
Yeah.
that are family friendly for
Yes.
everybody. To do.
Everybody.
And part of that is I had along our waterfront and some of our local area parks, working along with our communities.
It's our pride. Waterfront is our pride
It
for
is.
Yes.
Mississauga.
And we had
It is
some.
beautiful.
Yes, we had some stone chess tables put in, some
Oh,
precast chess tables put in
nice.
along the waterfront because, again, your barrier to entry is you can play chess or checkers just by
Yeah.
bringing the pieces.
Absolutely.
And if you happen to be down by the waterfront, I will tell you, all you have to do is go to the marina office right by where Snug Harbor Restaurant is, and they will lend out the pieces for you to go and play
Oh,
on.
amazing. And no
So,
cost?
No cost.
Wow. Okay.
You have taken
Absolutely.
the name of Snug Harbor. Let me name my friend's place, Posta.
Yes, yes.
You
and
know, we usually
Posta's
there.
right beside it.
Posta
It's
is
You
actually
just
right
want to
in
spend all
between
day
the two.
there.
And we usually
Yeah.
go there and we meet lots of politicians.
Yes.
That's a favorite
Yeah.
place because
Yes.
they're outside patio
Absolutely.
facing the
It's a beautiful view.
beautiful
Yeah,
view.
it's a
And we have
beautiful
met
view.
lots of politicians over there.
Yes,
Whenever we go for
Amazing.
dinner in the evening, it's hard to find a place.
yes, exactly. And so there's a lot of great spots there. We had a problem with our library in Port Credit, for example,
Oh.
where it was deemed structurally unsound. It had to be closed. It was in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, that's too
The
bad.
city had no money to expend on it, so
Yeah.
it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And quite frankly, we have great staff at the city of Mississauga that we've worked very hard with. Do we create a new library?
New library.
How do we do this? And with what funds? And when would we get it?
Got
Or
it. Okay.
is there some way somehow that we could save the cherished library that we have? And,
You have, yeah.
and that's what we did.
Yeah.
We worked on it, and not only that, but you'll be happy to hear that it was done ahead of schedule.
Oh, wow. It's
and-
already done.
And $1 million
Beautiful.
under
Beautiful.
budget.
You're
Wow.
awesome. Truly awesome.
And the same building.
Because the
Yes,
area is
yes.
governed by very, very
Yeah.
vibrant people.
Yes.
You are there, one the first base. Then Rudy
Mm.
Cuzzetto is there
Yeah.
as an MPP. He's
Yeah.
also a very hardworking MPP.
That's right.
in
That's
that
right. And
area.
it's having everybody working hard, I think is very important. And then as
Absolutely.
well, we've got another project which is currently underway,
Mhm.
and we'll have that starting to come open towards the end of this year, and that's the Carmen Corbison Community Center.
Wow.
And
Nice.
so we're actually going to have a new pool and the largest warm water therapy pool
Beautiful,
in the entire
beautiful.
city is going to be put
And
in
open
there.
to public?
Open to the public.
Beautiful,
And it's going to be a
beautiful.
sensational
Wow.
place for everybody. So I welcome
That'll be very
everybody in all,
popular.
in all families to come and enjoy. Also workout
Nice.
facilities, which were
Try
previously
to
not part of
try
that.
to inform the
All the
people
year.
and everybody during your campaign now okay, what
Yes.
facilities are available at the waterfront
Yes.
because people are not aware.
And I'll tell you, and I'm leaving 2 other significant ones. That there's others, but as I mentioned, I know it's a long list.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also going to be building a pedestrian cycling bridge, which will be
Lovely.
going in right up. That'll go across the Credit River, just south of the railway tracks, and that'll go into
Oh my
Memorial
goodness.
Park, right up by the Legion on the other side, and it'll truly bridge 2 communities
It's going to
together.
be beautiful
Yeah.
It
down
will
there.
be significant.
Yeah, they have a legion
Absolutely.
also
Yeah.
at the lakeshore.
That's exactly where this path is going to be going, just in kind of the north area of the parking lot
Mhm.
there. So that'll kind of open up those 2 communities, and also with Brightwater that's
No,
coming
no,
in.
it has
at
got a
Mississauga
bright
Road
future,
Lakeshore.
you know.
It'll help open
Gets
everything up.
people out and social.
And lots of
and
Eastern Europeans have settled in that
recreation.
area,
It's amazing.
mostly.
Yes, we have a lot of different people from around the world.
Around the
you
world
know,
out there,
that
yeah.
And then the other one that's open right now, and it will be hopefully for the next few weeks if it doesn't get too warm, is I've got a new glycol cooled skating trail
Uh-huh.
that is
Oh,
down in
wow.
Port Credit, and that is in Memorial Park, and it's 220 meters around by
Beautiful.
3.5 meters
Beautiful.
wide, and it's open from 10 until 10 daily, and there's all
Oh,
kinds
no.
of wonderful
We
things
hope to
happening
see
there.
a brighter
Wow.
future for Mississauga
Amazing.
with our new mayor.
things.
Yes.
That's
And-
absolutely
And my
amazing.
last one, I will say, for where we're
Exciting.
going with the city, is I'm very passionate about the arts. I
Yeah.
believe that music is
too.
the soundtrack
Arts
of
and
a
our
lot
culture.
of our lives.
Yeah.
Yep, me
And
too.
so I came up with the idea of having a new song, an anthem for Mississauga for our
Nice.
50th
Oh,
anniversary.
wow.
I
Wow.
took that to the folks at Metalworks and
Uh-huh.
our culture
And they're
department.
creating
Okay, at the
And
Metal
that,
Works.
We've
Okay.
got one.
Oh,
It went out.
wow.
We had close to 20 people sent in their songs.
Beautiful.
We
Beautiful.
had a selection. His name is Mikey Bloom.
Beautiful.
He's absolutely
Nice.
fantastic. He's born, raised. He is so proud of Mississauga.
Oh,
And his song,
nice.
even in his song, he actually spells out Mississauga, Missi. Like, it's
It's like just
fantastic.
that-
Beautiful.
oh, wow.
It's
Beautiful.
fantastic.
It was
Beautiful.
so meaningful.
No, there are lots of
Yeah.
talented people. I remember even
yeah.
during COVID, we had welcomed a young singer, the
Yes.
youngest singer who won the award, and
Is that right?
and Rudy hosted that event.
Wonderful.
And we could drive in our cars because
Yeah.
the COVID was at the peak.
Mm.
Even the mayor attended that event, but we accorded a warm welcome to that 11-year-old girl.
Isn't that nice?
It's amazing.
Yeah, I
and,
still
when
remember.
and when they're young like that,
Yeah.
it's just
And
yeah.
150
Yeah,
cars
really
were
supportive.
there to.
I believe she was
Salute
on Canada's Got Talent or
Oh,
something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
And
Ah.
she won the award, and such a young, and we were truly proud because she's a Canadian.
Beautiful
Yes,
future ahead.
yes. Yeah,
In
isn't that
singing.
incredible? And that's
Absolutely.
really what we've got here. We have all the ingredients of greatness. And right
Yes.
now we're good, but we're not great as far as I'm concerned. And that's what I'm putting my name forward to be mayor, because I know we can be great.
Definitely,
And,
definitely.
And we will have, we had 100 cars there to welcome her. We would have 1,000.
1,000
Right.
cars.
We want
Why
to make
not?
sure
Yeah,
that we do
yeah.
everything.
Right.
Definitely. And we need a vibrant mayor now. No? It's high time,
100%.
that all bureaucracy should be over.
Well, we're at a point where we're looking forward, and
Yeah.
you need somebody that's fresh, energetic, but also experienced.
And
at the
devoted,
same time.
experience
Yes.
at the same time,
Yes.
devoted of serving the people of Mississauga.
And things
That's what
change,
it's
and you
all
got to
about.
We'll
progress
be
with
taking
it.
a short break and
Yeah.
we'll be back with you soon. Welcome back after a short break in our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. My co-host is Cindy Young. And we have got our dynamic, young, vibrant Councillor Ward 1 and a candidate for mayoral. Also, he has submitted his papers yesterday, Stephen Dasko.
Yes.
Welcome to our show after the break.
Well, thank you
Go
again
on,
for
Cindy,
having
go
me
ahead.
on the show.
Yeah.
Stephen, as you had mentioned, and we've talked about that a little bit already, that you were re-elected in 2022 for your second term.
Yes.
If you could please inform us and the viewers what role you played in the Council of Mississauga as far as low-cost housing
Sure.
Is
is
concerned.
concerned, and which is one of our dire needs all
Absolutely.
Of our
around
city also.
in the city,
Yes.
everywhere.
Because we have built up luxurious towers and everything, but the low cost
lot.
housing, nobody is ready to concentrate or speak even.
It's a difficult.
And this
situation.
is an area that it's
a gray area.
it's been an issue for a long time,
Yes.
and it's one that the buck tends to get passed over
Yes.
the years.
Mm.
It started off where housing was federal, then it went provincial, then it
Mm.
went municipal, and then but no real mechanisms to pay for a lot
Pay
of
for
all.
it, yeah.
Right.
And so what ended up happening was a lot of these issues just compounded upon themselves.
Yeah.
And we're also in a spot where we also have a lot of people that are they're having some hard times,
Definitely.
and they need to be
Absolutely.
looked after.
Concentrate on it
Yeah,
once you
and-
take the office of the mayor. Try to
And so-
concentrate on low housing.
Well, the needs there, and we need to
Low-cost
do
housing.
more. And I
Yeah.
will say, actually, Ward 1 is doing the most out of the whole city right now, and actually the whole region. We have 150 units are currently under construction right
Oh,
now,
good.
Wow.
and there's another 150
Funded
where
by
we're-
the city or the province at the same time?
This is actually done. These are regional projects
Regional projects.
I've been working
Oh,
on.
wow, wow.
Along with the development community as well. When it comes to Brightwater, it's a master plan community there. So we've got
Nice.
150 units there.
Awesome. Truly awesome.
Yeah, and I brought in earlier in my tenure we did something from a group called Indwell, and that was 68 units, and they were built in what they call a passive house. So it takes next to nothing to heat or cool
Wow,
them.
wow.
They're very, very energy efficient.
Beautiful.
Costs a little bit
And
more
they're already
upfront,
occupied?
but the long-term
Upfront,
gain
but the
is
long-term
significant.
gains
Yeah.
are, yes.
Oh, they're occupied,
Lovely,
absolutely.
lovely. Truly awesome.
And then we also have our Compass Food Bank, which operates out of that, and that helps
Campus and
literally
the
thousands of
Eden
people.
Food Bank. We are trying to help
And
both.
Eden
The
Food for
shelter and
Change
food are
is
your two
significant.
big
That I was about
Absolutely.
to ask because I
Yeah.
asked my
Yeah.
every guest because I'm also an active member of Eden Food Bank.
Yes.
So and we hope we do the fundraising and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's important work that everybody's doing, and
Absolutely.
you know, there's yet to be a down month for any one of the food banks that need it. So we have that, and then there's at East Avenue in Lakeshore. There's another 150
Because
that's going
I
in.
remember
And we're
another
bringing-
councillor also did quite a good help of getting fresh milk
Yeah.
to Eden Food Bank every day. Councillor Stephen Dasko, please inform our viewers of our show Voice of Canada. You are also involved with so many community organizations. So will you name few of them and what is your role in that organizations?
Sure. Well, before getting elected into office, the Community Living Mississauga is very near and dear to my heart. I was a longstanding board member there. I'm not able to be on the board anymore because they have term limits of how long you could serve, and that's one that I miss it dearly. It's an incredible
It's
group.
very important.
The whole team that offers a lot of the services, they're absolutely incredible. Can't say enough about everybody there, and as well, I would like to wish my friend Debbie Moffat. A lot of people through Community Living Mississauga will know Debbie.
Yeah.
She's going to be retiring.
Lovely.
In the summertime, and so I'm going to miss her dearly. But it's just an incredible amount of service that she's brought to the organization. Absolutely. And then as well, there's other groups that I'm very much a part of. We've got the Port Credit Community Village Project, and that is a group. Again, I think I just celebrated my 15th year or so being part of that group, and that's bringing art and beautification into the corridor along in Port Credit. So you're seeing some of those effects that are going on, and also they're great to work with and collaborate. I'm a big fan of collaborating with people to get great
Future
results.
looks bright now.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then as well, working along with different food banks. The main one, of course, that I do, just because it's in the ward that I serve
Because now
right now,
they are
is the Compass.
Just now after the COVID thing, people are really in a mess.
It's a horrible situation. The Food Banks Mississauga that Megan is running, she does incredible work, and that of course is the feeder organization to, for example, Eden Food for Change and a lot of the and the dam, etc. The work that they do is incredible. They have a new facility that they're up and working in. It's a great big facility, but the need is huge.
The need is huge, and now to regular business, we request whenever you go to buy a grocery, it doesn't make a much difference. We buy a packet of $9.90 and give it to the food bank box.
Yes, that's right.
Because that's a need. Because the Eden Food Bank and other banks are saying after the second week, the demand gets so huge that the people are unable to put food on the table.
Yes.
Even in spite of working 2 jobs. One full-time, one part-time.
But you've nailed it on the head. What it looks like is not that stereotype that some might think is that somebody is literally just totally down on their luck. This is sometimes it's families that have a house, cars, they just run out of money by the end of the month.
They're unable to pay the
and
huge
everybody
mortgage,
in between,
bank interest, and everything.
Absolutely.
So there is no money left for the food.
That's right.
Yeah, when you have a mortgage that was set at 2.5% and it's renewing at 6 or 7%, and you were at a stretch at that point to make your payments and make your lifestyle work. This is a point right now where you say, well, we've got some significant challenges. And a lot of times that's what goes
collectively
is
face
not the
those
ability
challenges.
to pay for your grocery bill.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. And we must help.
Absolutely.
Each and every one's duty
Yeah.
is to help these days.
Absolutely. I think it's something that we all have to do. We all have to look out for each and every person in our community to make sure that everybody is well looked after, that we've got shelter, we've got food on the table for everybody, and there's a quality of life that that I believe is deserving of everybody.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Cindy.
That's what's really important. So, Councillor, one of the main concerns or complaints that we hear from residents in Mississauga is that the Mississauga City Council have a lot of red tape in all of the departments due to the residents, and they face a lot of problems and delays.
Sure.
Can you throw some light on
So
this?
I hope when you become a mayor, you will be first looking into the removal of red tape.
Yeah.
Lots of red tape is going on. I've suffered enough.
Yeah.
As a person, I'm telling you, I was the victim, but I don't want to start my story.
Sure.
But the red tape is there, is
Yeah.
existence.
There are situations where you can find that, and we're always looking at ways to streamline things. For example, if you're looking to put an addition on your house or something to that
Right.
effect, you want
The
to be able to go in and. I'm a big believer, because one of the things that happened during the pandemic was there was a counter that you could walk into with your permits, and you could
Permits
ask,
and all that at
and they
Summit.
closed that and they went virtual, etc.
Yes.
I think we're at a point right now where we need to open those counters. We need to make City Hall more accessible for everybody.
That's right.
There was a time where it was a responsible thing to do, but I think we've got that under our belt right now. And there's an opportunity to make it a little bit more people friendly. But at the same time, as you're saying, we can streamline some things just to make sure that in some cases there are rules in place for reasons. It's almost like with a bottle of bleach. It says don't drink bleach because somebody did. But overall, you certainly want to have it where it's streamlined, it's effective,
So
and
make
it's
one of your agenda when you become a mayor to see that it's a very friendly place for the people to visit.
Yes. 100%. And that's a big part of what I would like to do, is make sure that we've got a welcome and inviting place for everybody.
And every year send them for courses, reinforcement courses. Even the operators of 311, at times they are very rude.
Is that right? See, and this is something I will tell you, and I'll mention to the viewers as well. Please let me know if, and I'll say this as a councillor and as your mayor, please let me know. You can always call 905-896-5100.
Thank you. You're so kind.
That's my number. And please call and let me know that, because we can deal with what we know. We can't deal with what we don't know.
For sure.
Absolutely. And so anytime I hear anything like that,
you'll immediately take action on it.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do like your statement on that they're coming back into the office, or that would be something that we looked at, because I've noticed both parts before, and it's significant difference when they're working at home of just the levels that they go through. So
go ahead,
sure.
please.
Yeah, I mean, there's efficiencies when you can have some, depends on the department. If they're working from home, some of our staff will be working, and so sometimes you go into the office, sometimes you work from home. But I will say, I've also got my own personal staff will work far longer than they ever would have done so at the office, just for just being able to put food on the table for dinner and this type of thing.
At the same time, but I would rather put one example. Your bylaw officers should be used in a proper way, not as police officers for raiding the houses of the people.
No, that's not their
that's
function.
not the work. When the councillors turn into policing, that becomes very difficult for the residents.
That's not their role. No. Their role is to make sure that bylaws are enforced, and we also work
and in a polite manner and a very, very different manner. We are compassionate people. Because Stephen, I've got a very old demand from the people, senior people of Mississauga.
Yeah.
Since long, I've been fighting. I've spoken to so many councillors. They say that council should consider freezing the property taxes of senior, those who have stayed in the property for more than 10 years. Not there should be a criteria that person should qualify. And in many countries, this is going on just across the border. So why can't Mississauga can also consider that proposal? What it will cost, but that will truly help. Now the seniors are on the verge of selling the properties because they can't afford property taxes.
There are, and I will say, this is a conundrum that we get into, because what I hear quite often is, oh, housing is, for example, oh, you bought your house at $30,000 in 1965, and
That is
right
true.
now it's at worth $1.4 million. That's terrific if you happen to be selling your property.
If you're selling, right.
If you're not, then because you're based on the MPAC results, and then the levies get placed on that. Municipalities, unfortunately, are in the spot where, for example, the city of Mississauga, for every dollar that we have in city tax, and there's not a lot of mechanisms that the city has for earning money to be able to provide all the services, which are a lot. 35 cents the city of Mississauga gets to keep. The rest of it goes to the region and to and to the
Other various
education
services,
boards.
education and all, yeah.
So, yes, and so flat out, what I am very big on, and I'm always one where I want to maximize every single dollar. I treat each dollar in the budget like it's my own, and I look at it. So I want to make sure that everybody's looked after.
Especially the seniors and the veterans.
Yeah, the reality is, unless we were to get some federal or provincial support, we cannot afford it. And so, because municipalities cannot carry deficits, and so this is something that has to be reconciled by the end of the year. That's under the Municipal Act, which is being put forward by the province.
Very true.
So that has to be flush at the end of the day. And then if one person was to not have it, which by the way wouldn't be permitted in the Municipal Act to do something like that. But that's something I think that continued advocacy should be looked at, because as we're looking at things in governments of all levels, whether it's Peel Health or the province or the feds, everybody talks more about aging in place. Which I think is to your point. And the best way to do that is to be able to work with
give
people
some
to
relief.
do that.
Think of some relief.
And the relief that's offered right now is actually through a deferral process,
but
which
doesn't make any sense. One has to pay in the end.
Well, that's just it. And and without the mechanism to be able to have, then you'll say, okay, well, what goes if that's not the case? Is it do you want to put in sewer pipes, water pipes? Do you want to have a sidewalk? Do you want to have a traffic light? Do you want to have a community center? And this is where you try to reconcile all of that. But at the same time, can we always cut back on where there's waste? 100%. And
thank you. I will have to move a little faster because the time has already gone up, and they have given me the second time the signal.
I'm at your leisure.
Very important question I'm going to ask. People of Mississauga are very concerned that the next property tax rise, according to my information, is 7%. Coming as a 7%, which is not acceptable by lots of people. I've spoken to two, three councillors, and even I have the internal report. Then when the voting took place, about 10 councillors raised their hand in favor of 7%, and one councillor deferred.
That is actually not correct.
From the horse's mouth, I got it.
I hate to say it. That's not correct. When it came, we have two different levies for tax. One was on behalf of the city of Mississauga. That was 2.3%. What we do have on the regional side, that came in at 4.5%.
But the total
and
7
so
has
the
been agreed
total is
upon.
6.8%. That's the blended rate. It's and I will tell you, nobody that I know at all would ever look and say, well, geez, this person did that and that person did that.
No, we are not
it's the total that you pay at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so I will tell you, in terms of what came forward at the city, we all voted in favor of the city tax at 2.3%, which was below the rate of inflation. But I will say, at the regional side, I and Brad Butt, and that was Ward 11. So that's why I just wanted to put it out there. Brad Butt and myself were the only two that actually voted against the budget.
Budget.
And what I asked for was for some cost efficiencies, because certainly when you have billion-dollar budgets, and I went back to what we thought at the time with dissolution that they were talking about with the region of Peel, I thought, well, this should be a wind-up cleanup year, which was going to be 2024. And instead, we saw new spending initiatives, hundreds of new people being hired on when we were losing many people because of not knowing what the future was going to be. And I thought, this is just an irresponsible budget. The police budget, which was off to the side, needs that investment
Mhm.
because that had been
That
kicked
is
down the
highly-
road for too many years, and then
Right.
it catches up with you. And that's the
Yes.
problem when
Then you have
you go in
catch-up.
with 0%. At some point,
Yeah.
zero becomes a lot
That's right.
because you have to catch up with things. you know?
My question will be very fast now.
Sure.
Just give us a brief about what the city is doing about the crime, especially the car thefts.
Yes.
It's
Well,
big.
and this is something that we're all
Everyone.
working on right across the GTA. People won't say, okay, it's your street or my street.
No, it has come to every place, everywhere.
It has literally come everywhere.
Everywhere.
To a shopping mall.
Yes, everywhere.
to
Parking
somebody's
lots,
home,
everywhere.
Parking lots anywhere.
Yeah.
And this is a significant issue. I
Drastic
think part of
measures
the-
are to be adopted.
Absolutely, and this
Yes.
is where we need true collaboration, and that's what I bring as a mayor: is the ability to work with all levels of government, all political stripes, and just sit down, roll up your sleeves, lock the door, and you don't leave until you have tangible results
Right.
coming out of it. I know that there was an auto summit recently. I think
Mhm.
that's a
Yeah,
good
Yes.
that was a
step.
very good first
So
step.
bringing everybody out to recognize the first thing that you need to recognize is that you've got a significant problem, and I think that's well in
Absolutely.
hand.
Yeah.
And so, because right now, our Peel Regional Police, which they run a lot of the auto theft right out
Mhm.
of 11 Division, they brought on some new officers
True.
to dedicate to that. But part of the
Beautiful.
problem is, as soon as they're arresting people, they're getting right back out again.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't
And
stop
so
it.
this
Okay.
is where it's all levels of government.
Stephen,
really
we
need
are
to come to the
exceeding
table.
our time, and this is the third signal I got it. So,
Okay.
what would be the last question? Is what would be the main thrust or agenda in your mayoral candidate? On
Yep.
what agenda you're fighting your campaign as a mayor?
Well, first of all, fiscal responsibility is a significant one.
Mhm.
We have to look at, again, how we target the spend and not go cap in hand right out to whether it's the taxpayer or other levels of government. Yes, it's great to have that collaboration, but it's one that first we have to make sure that.
Sorry, cut.
बेटा कट कर दिया लास्ट है remarks करो.
I need to change the mic.
अच्छा अच्छा
Ah.
because you're speaking and bas I'm ending it.
See that? I burnt out the microphone
Oh, wow.
already.
Yeah, the power.
Can you imagine?
Come, yeah, just concluding. Come inside because so you'll continue with where you were saying.
Yeah.
We'll restart what you were saying.
What you were saying, we can restart from that. What you were saying.
Sure,
Yeah.
no problem. Fiscal responsibility, yeah.
Yeah, fiscal responsibility.
Where you're placing your hard-earned tax dollars from the residents are going into places that true value is being
True,
gained
very
from.
true.
So I think
Absolutely.
that's at the forefront. Affordability, and that bridges all gaps. You want to make sure that everybody
So do
has
your
a
best
place to
to
be at home
implement
here in Mississauga.
what you are committing for your mayoral as a mayoral
Yes.
role. So when you are elected, God willing,
Yes.
try to
Yep.
enforce it.
Yes.
And would you like to
Exciting.
give a final comments and advice to our viewers
Yeah.
today?
Well, I'll say, we are truly at the dawn of a new day. And Mississauga, as I mentioned, has got a good base under us. It's where we're going next. And you need somebody that's got experience, that can make those tough decisions, but also work with everybody and of all levels of government. We've got a council of some very bright, very hardworking, very invested people, and it's being able to work with everybody to get the best results for all of our residents. And not only that, but I also have over 500
Mhm.
community consultations under my
Beautiful,
belt
beautiful.
Wow.
so far, and that's at the
So we
forefront
wish you
of
all
what
the
I do.
best. Keep your hopes
Yeah.
and your ability. Keep working for the community, for Mississauga and for Canada. With,
Always.
All the
with that
best.
note, we'll be signing off because we have overtaken our time today. But it was a pleasure to talk to Councillor Ward 1, Stephen Dasko.
Thank you
And
so much.
God willing, you will be the mayor. And hope once you are elected, you will come back. You will remember your old friends.
Always.
Come and give us your interview and your views.
As long as you have a door open for me,
Always
I'd be
there.
happy to come through.
Just
Thank you.
keep on informing us about your important events of your mayoral. So we
Yes.
may try to come or send somebody to cover that event.
Please, that would be
Ask
fantastic.
your office
Thank you
to
so
keep
much.
me informed about your
Yes.
activities. With that note, we are signing off from our show Voice of Canada of this evening. Your host Asphandiar Wadiwalla. Cindy Young, we say goodbye, good night, God bless Canada, and God save the King. Adios.
Good night.